Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Old Golden Chat. Back with episode number 26. Finally, Liam, we are beaten in 2026. The unbeaten run is over. It was nice whilst it lasted, and I suppose if any team was going to take that title off us, it was probably going to be Man City, wasn't it? How are you, mate? You're okay?
Yeah, mate, I'm okay. Are you?
I'm not too bad, actually. I'm not too bad. It's been a long and hectic weekend. We've had a lot going on. We're currently doing the living room out, so it's been hectic downstairs. Currently living in the bedroom for a bit, so all fun and games. Yeah, no, it's been good. We went out and took the dads out on the weekend as well, which was nice. And we had a birthday party on the Friday for my sister's fiance. Shout out to Steve if you do watch it. Watch the podcast, I don't know, but happy birthday, mate. You all get. Leo, what did you get up to the weekend?
It feels a blur after a day of work today. No, I did nothing, mate, I don't think.
No, it's nice to have you back anyway. After a week off, are you all rested up? Are you all ready to return to the pod?
Another big grant. Now I've got building inside of me, I think.
Oh, I can feel the fire burning already, mate. I suppose we should probably get straight into it, shouldn't we? And like I said earlier in the intro, Wolves 0, Manchester City 2, the unbeaten run is over. But I don't, from what I did see of the game, it's almost like free to get to Manchester City, isn't it, the best of times. And I don't think we disgraced ourselves too badly, especially in terms of what Wolves have been like from the start of the season. Give us a little rundown, mate. What do you think?
Yeah, look, everyone knows that Man City are about, like you say, a lot of people, pundits, everyone was saying it was a free hit. I would have just liked us to have caused them a little bit more panic after the losing the Manchester derby and lost in the week to a team that they should be hammering. I thought they was there to get at a little bit better than we did. I thought we could have been a lot better in certain aspects of the game. I just hope that don't, have a downward spiral impact on what's going to happen next, because I think the Bournemouth's a big game, not for staying up. I just think it's a big game to try and keep that momentum going. Lineup was a big call, weren't it, by Rob, dropping Tolu. I predicted it. I could see, I could see why he did it. And I saw, Man United dropped Seshko and put Mbema up top, and they had a lot of join. And in midweek as well, City just to play that such an high line. And I thought that we might Guy coming into it. He hasn't had much practice playing in that high line, trying to keep that offside trap. I thought there was chances to get at, and it looked like when we first started in that first 10 minutes, you could see Chan and Mane trying to keep their line, keep onside and make that one. But it was like after 10 minutes, it's like they either got told to or they realised themselves that that pass was never going to get spot on. It was never going to come. We just had no one in there to put that pass in behind, and then they just started to drop deeper and try and get on the ball, and that just suited Man City, didn't it? So, I don't know. What do you think of the Tolu being dropped?
Yeah, I think for all the praise that we've been able to give Rob Edwards as of recent weeks, I think he probably got the selection wrong with this one. I think he hit the nail on the head early on by saying that City were there to be got at. And I think the game plan itself probably wasn't bad. It was make sure Hwang stays on the last man, City sideline, see if he can break pace and get in behind and maybe get a few chances from that. I think the only problem with that is you have to have playmakers in your team. And I think you've said it perfectly, to be honest. We obviously lack a bit of creativity at the best of times. I think if you're going to have those runners in behind in Mane and Hwang, you probably have to have, ironic to say, someone like Tommy Doyle, who can, or obviously Ruben Neves, I've been all of Ruben Neves back, but someone who could play those intricate balls over the top and get the players to get the runs in behind. I think it was just a game that was always going to be hard for me.
I don't think Tolu starting would have changed much though, mate, to be honest.
No, I don't think it would. Like I say, I think the game plan was probably right. I think the lack of physicality showed, to be honest. I know Strand Larsen's not got many fans at the minute, and I know Tolu had a few critics still still bewildered to me, to be honest. But after the previous game, I forgot who even played. Newcastle.
Yeah.
I think, look, I would have preferred Tolu to be up top and maybe give him Mark Gay a little bit of a push. To be honest, Kusanov's really weak, and I don't understand why we didn't try to get at Manchester City that way. Like I say, I think the game plan
Yeah.
to some degree was right. I think the actual practice itself was probably wrong, obviously, with John Arias. He did come back in, didn't
He
he?
was out of it, weren't he? He didn't even have a sniff.
Yeah.
He was quite poor. We needed that player there just to get on the ball on the half turn like he has been doing in them deeper positions. Just to playing that ball in behind, make Rodri, question himself about what he's going to do. If Tolu was playing, all Rodri would have done is just stick on Mane. So every time Tolu knocks that ball down to him, Mane would have been it. So he would have took that aspect out of it. And like I said, the worst chances where we did look like we was going to cause them a little bit of a threat. But that game highlighted for me, lack of quality on the ball Joe and Andre actually have. Like, I know everyone's been saying it and they can't play together. What options have we got there? He needed to play probably 2 CDMs against Man City that can entice teams apart. So he needed to do it, but we just needed someone in there who can make a pass further than 5 yards. But I'm looking at it, as how can a professional football player not have that in the locker? You're not asking for anything major to put the ball in a decent area. That I was completely shocked at how poor Joe and Andre actually were. And I know there was against a really good Man City side, but they could have been on a bit of a wobble. They were there to have a bit of a panic attack to start with. We just didn't give them anything, and they just settled into the game really well, didn't they? Then,
I think it was always going to be a hard game. I think me and you had spoke on WhatsApp, and as soon as Man City had offered to pay for refunds for the Bodo Glimt game, I was feeling relatively stupidly confident up until that point. And then as soon as I saw that the likes of Haaland and Silva and everybody else had offered refunds for the City fans, I thought, they're going to come at us now. They're going to come at us. Let's move on to the first goal, I think, mate.
Yeah.
Quite early on in the game.
They're on the right-hand side, weren't he? What is it every time a player gets booed? Like, come up trumps with, something... It was a quality ball, weren't it? You can't take that away from him. Absolute superb ball whipped in.
Yeah, and Omar Mamouche on the end of it.
Yeah. I think...
And to be honest, it's a player who I've followed for quite a long time because I've seen Frankfurt in the flesh. I really enjoy watching their football. And Omar Mamouche, how is he City's second string striker? He's good enough to start. It's a bit like Julian Alvarez, wasn't it? He could just play in any other team in the Premier League, in the La Liga, La Serie A. How is he their second string striker? That is unreal. And to be fair to him, finish superb. I think Mosquera should have probably handled it a little bit better. I'm going to try not to knock him.
He probably gets there first, doesn't he?
Yeah, I'm going to try not to knock Mosquera too much because I'm going to try not to knock Mosquera too much because I think Moggy's pitchforks out. He only lives 10 minutes down the roads. We still love the Prince, don't we? But it was, like you said, I think you summed it up perfectly. A little bit of inexperience. Can't get his head to it first time. And he suffered a couple of times this season now with the Arsenal deflection as well. I think that's something that he's got to improve in his game. But again, I think that'll come with time. Obviously, the last few years, he's struggled with injuries. So, yeah, I'll let him off. He's allowed an off day after performing so well in recent weeks.
I do think, though, if that's the other way around, do you reckon VAR look at it for the studs? Because he went in with his studs high, didn't he? So if that's the other way around, mate, that's getting checked. Simple as.
Look, I think the referee himself actually had an half-decent game on the day. It was refreshing to see. I think it was his first Premier League game. I think it was refreshing to see a manager go over to the VAR monitor and keep to his own decision and have a set of cojones, to be honest. There was a couple of sheets for penalties all the way through, but I think I agree with what you said. I think if it was the other end, maybe it would have got checked. But at the same time, as I mentioned, later on in the game, where unfortunately it was Mosquera again involved, a ball came in and it hit his arm. The ref did at least go and check it, and even if the decision was wrong, and I can understand that one's going to get debated, but for me, if a ref goes there, looks at the decision and says, I'm right, and he sticks his neck on the line. I'm quite happy, whether that decision was right or wrong. Personally, for me, I thought his own was in a natural position, but you've seen them give him, so you take him with a pinch of salt, didn't you? But I think if it was the other end, it would have probably got checked. But like I say, the only saving grace with that is at least the ref had already proved later on in the game that if he would have checked it, he would have seen the decision that he gave on in the game situation. Then who knows how that decision would have gone up the other end.
Yeah.
Should we get to the second goal? That was a thing just before half time. I think if we could have held that at 1-0 up to half time, I think we obviously made a couple of changes anyway. But I think if we could have held that till half time, that 1-0, I'm not saying it would have changed much because I think City were the far better team in the first half. But we actually came out with a bit of team spirit in the second half from what I saw. And I was quite happy with how we reacted. Like I say, if we could have took that game into 1-0, who knows where that game would have gone, really.
So many times we've said this style this season, isn't it? You know, it happened again at
It's
Anfield.
ultimately
You can't be 2-0 down in the Premier League and then start performing. It just don't happen.
It's ultimately why we are where we are at the end of the day. But look, it's one of them. I think we all know what our fate is this season. I want to move on to.
I know we was being quite optimistic, but we're goners now, aren't we? Like simple as.
Yeah, we were West Ham winning as well, and even Burnley just refused to lose at this stage of the season.
Well, didn't they?
Forest won, but yeah,
Leeds are winning 1-0 now, I think.
I think they are. Yeah, look, it's going to happen. It's one of them. We knew it was coming. We started so poorly come the start of the season that it was always going to happen. But what can we say? What can we say, man? Second goal, Antoine Semenyo. Beautiful finish, wasn't it, to be honest?
What a player that is. And like you say, look at their squad depth and Ryan Aitanu that would walk in our team probably in any position, sat on their bench, just shows you the quality they have in that squad, doesn't it? But like again, I would just like to have seen a bit more like Tchua, like when he has the ball, what goes through his head? For me, he's fourth choice right back. When Rodrigo's fit, he's got to start. He has to start every game. I'd have Lima in there, I'd have Doherty in there, and then go to him. He's got to be fourth choice. I think it was at 1-0. Was it at 1-0 when he had the ball out on the right hand side and he kind of cut in, just fell over his own feet, lost the ball, and they like counter attacked us, didn't they? And I was just like, I just took him off right there. And then, man, he's absolutely awful. And these footballers have to have a hard look at themselves if they can't control the ball this every day. Who scouts them? And Matt Jackson makes us believe that we trust that they know what players they want to sign. It's a load of garbage just to try and please us, and we've got fans that are believing it. I don't believe a word they're saying. Honestly, I can't even start him because my head is just full of anger.
Yeah, look. Jackson Tchua obviously got replaced at half-time by Rodrigo Gomez, and it was absolutely the right decision. Yeah. I, on one hand, can understand why Rob Edwards started him, just purely because against Newcastle it was probably his best game in a Wolves shirt, which doesn't really stand for much because I think every other game that he's played has been absolutely woeful. But I can understand the reasons for playing him there, and obviously we probably thought that Doku was going to start on that left, and you might as well just go pace for pace because Doku to me has been quite underwhelming this season, and he kind of just all he's done so far is just use his pace, get down that left-hand side. And then for me, he's been really lethargic with the way that he's playing and not really putting in half-decent balls or getting the balls to the edge of the box. But then again, that's City, and that's probably something that I haven't seen as much. But I can understand why Edwards put him in. I think it's time for the Jackson Tchua experiment to finish now. I think the fans are just going to keep getting on his back. Ourselves included, like the technical ability has to be questioned. And for me, like we talk about Marshall Monetzi in the same vein. What a crap footballer! What an awful footballer! And now he's on loan, and we're all happy. Jackson Tchua falls under the same vein for me because his technical ability is shambolic. He does not know what to do when the ball is at his feet. Sometimes he has these glimmers when he's usually got like a fast, direct winger attacking at him. His ability to be able to recover a ball off a sliding tackle is fairly impressive. But if you take that away from his game, you'd be lucky to get him playing in like step 7 in English football. He's the nicest way possible. Show it. And there is no other way to put it. Rodrigo Gomez for me goes and slots in. 100%. 100%.
Yeah. But positives, I've got one.
Go for it, mate.
I think, our back three could come out of that game with a bit of credit because, And like, I think we're like Moscow fanboys, but he made a mistake for the goal, yeah, and he should have maybe, rather than diving at it, he should have met the ball, got it away. Then he was in the mix with that penalty. Like, that could have turned a lot of players' heads, man. Like, they could have lost it. And
Mhm.
fair play, because that back three didn't crumble, did they? Like, Moscow stepped up to the plate. I think he was the only one really that laid a glove on Doku when he came on, you know.
Yeah.
And I think in those situations when we go a goal down, the calmness that Krejci, Santi, and Mosquera still have on the ball to receive that ball from an Andre and Joe Gomez that seem to, at the moment, give it to them, even though they've got 10 players around them. Like, fair play to them, because they didn't hide, did they? And they didn't just hoof the ball away. Like, I thought that was quite fitting, and they do deserve a little bit of praise, to be honest.
I'll give you a little hypothetical question here. Obviously, we spoke about this with Nat in the group chat as well. And I think he brought it to light. Would you ever see a world where, obviously, I don't want to drop Rodrigo Gomez because I think he's fantastic. I could see him playing in the Hwang role, and hypothetically, could you see, if he stays past January, Badu coming in and slotting at that right centre back, Scare him moving over to right wing back? Is there a world where that could be a thing? He obviously played right back at Villarreal.
Right back, I think, yes, because he's got that aggressive nature to get out to the ball when someone's got it out wide, to get out there, get to the feet, touch tight. That player ain't going to want to get past him because he's going to get chopped. He ain't going to want to cut inside because he's going to have a wrestle. So he ain't going to get beat back post because he's quite good in the air, even though he just conceded a goal against City, but you know what I mean. But I don't know
Yeah.
if he's got that positional sense at the moment. Maybe that would come with him playing there. He's quite good with the ball to his feet, so he could get up and down. He makes some bursting runs, doesn't he, from centre half at times. So there is aspects of the game where he can do that, but the question would be is when he would know when to go, when to press, when to sit in. So I think if he was to play there, I don't know if Hagbadu next to him, who is also sometimes out of position, is the right way to go. Maybe if he does play there or has a go there, you need someone like maybe like Doherty at centre half who can just sit in that position and kind of guide Mosquera where to be. You
Yeah.
know, I'd be
Do you
funny,
know
mate,
what?
but if Chichua can play there, I'd have Mosquera there any day of the week.
To be honest, if Jackson Thatcher could play at right wing back, then so can I.
I'd
And
have
I
that.
can't
You
run.
at right wing back for them long foes.
Hero, God Christ, could you imagine? I'm making my debut for Tracy Island in the five-a-side football this week. So fingers crossed. Can't help me. Yeah, I think we should quickly move on to Strand Larson. Obviously, he was another half-time substitute. Lots and lots of rumours about him still floating around this week. I think he put in a decent amount of effort, to be fair. More of the Strand Larson of last season, of old, with his effort and his willingness to try and run and make things happen, which was nice to see. Is he going, Liam? Do you think he'll be gone this
Yeah, I
January,
do.
or do you think it's probably the summer?
I think there's too much rumours for him not to go. I would give him a bit of credit by saying at least he's not, saying he's injured or pulling out a match day squads with his head not being right. So he is coming on and giving it a good go, isn't he? So you got to take your hats off to him. But I think there's too many rumours for him not to go. And if he is your second choice striker at the moment, if someone is offering 30 million and you're destined to go down, I think you're going to end up taking it, aren't you? And if Mateta does move, which Forest is a strange move to me, but if he does move and Palace do come in for him, Matt Hobbs is already there. I can't see you saying no to a player
Yeah,
that the fan base aren't up to speed with him at the moment. He doesn't probably look like he's going to want to stay here. I think it would help all around, wouldn't it, for him just to move on.
yeah.
What about you?
I
What do
mean,
you think?
we'll have a little transfer rumour section in a bit, to be fair. We'll talk a little bit more about the Strand Larson rumours, along with multiple other deals. It's getting late in the window. I mean, what are we on? We're on the 26th, so we're probably going to be, 5 days left, 6 days left? I think it's obviously one that goes right to the wire. I agree with you. I think the Mateta situation, I think any single bit of this deal rests on that. I don't think he's going to be going to Forest. I don't think Leeds want to pay that extra bit of money.
Not when they
I
got
think
Calvert Lewin, he'd be on the bench, wouldn't he?
I think he's destined for Crystal Palace at the minute. So we'll see where the Mateta stuff moves. Quick question for you. We're just over halfway through the season. It's obviously been a woeful season. We've just tried to segue a bit away from the Manchester City game now. Do you have a player of the season? Maybe a runner-up so far? Again, I know it's so hard with everything that's going on.
I've got my worst player of the season. I think I've got about a 5 for that one.
I'll have a bit
You
more
know,
than
like,
5.
is it bad for me to say that I think Mane could win it already? I don't know. It is the only one that brings me excitement. I think Mosquera's had a decent season. I like his commitment. I think it could be one of them two for me. Krejci, he never goes hiding. He has a good effort. So everything. I don't think I can give it Mane yet because I think there's more to come and more to see of what he's going to be like. I think I'd probably go for Krejci at the moment, but Mosquera's right next to him. But yeah, I'd go for Krejci, but not really anybody that I could give a full statement to say, oh, yes, definitely him. What about you? What do you think? Who would you pick?
Yeah, I think Krejci obviously springs to the forefront of most people's minds. Still understand there's been flaws to his games this year, but I don't think I can really look past Joe Gomez's commitment to the cause for me. I understand there's obviously he's not been the same player as of last season. I just think that decisions completely out of his realm have kind of neglected his season ever so slightly, but I just love his enthusiasm for the club. You can see that how bad we are doing is affecting him, but not in a negative way, but you can see on the pitch that he just wants to try and run that extra yard. He wants to try and make that extra tackle. He's so passionate. And what I will give him credit for is when we were in this position before, obviously Lamina was obviously a bit different that he was a captain, but Lamina would make rash decisions that would sometimes lead us to goals, or he would make stupid fouls that would get him red cards and then would be another player there. And I don't think Joe Gomez has kind of done that. I think he's kind of took to more of a leader role within the club. And like I said, he gives that extra yard. He still tries to take players on. He still tries to bring us further up the pitch. Between him and Krejci, I think that would be my, at the moment, players of the season so far. Obviously, massive shout out to Mateus Mane as well. Like I say, it's hard to not give Mateus Mane that credit and player of the season, but he has only realistically played a maximum of 8 or 9 games so far. So yeah, that would be mine. That would be mine. The question on everybody's lips is, will Wolves make any transfer signings? I think with Marshall Monetsi moving out as of last week, and obviously some news that will go on to later with Lopez, but Wolves are really short in centre mid. There was a couple of rumours within the week. I could talk about this one now probably because it looks like it won't happen, but rolling back to our transfer video, Mehmeti from Bristol City, Wolves were firmly in the race for Giannis Mehmeti from Bristol City, who I know he's not a natural centre mid, but probably could have filled a hole within that 10 spot. He looks like he's on his way to Ipswich potentially now. I don't know whether the Dan Neil transfer has sorted anything on that. I haven't really seen too much, but we look again. We're tying it back to the Manchester City game. We look devoid of actual playmakers. Tommy Doyle would have fit the role perfectly, I think. There's a few players in the Championship in Manaluza. We've said it multiple amounts of times. We're missing a playmaker now, to be honest. We've got Joe Gomez and Andre who can do the dirty work. You've got Mane who can bring the ball forward and drive and take us a few yards up the pitch. Arias has done it on an odd couple of occasions now, but we really miss that playmaker. Will Wolves get one over the line, or is there anyone that you think at the club who could do that?
I don't think there's anyone in that squad, mate, that I can put me out on them being able to do it. Like you say, with Mehmeti, 3 million I think he's going for. Now, how there was rumours, I think it was Liam Keane, I might be wrong, but someone put out that, was ready to back Rob Edwards in the window. Where's that gone? Yeah, you've got to try and attract the players. Yeah, they might be wanting to move to other clubs. At least see that a bid's been put in. We haven't seen any bids put in for any players. If I'd say for Mehmeti, if they accepted a bid from us and a bid from Ipswich, but he chose to go to Ipswich because he could still play Premier League football next year, fair enough. I won't say anything about the club because they've at least tried. But where is all this talk? And I'm just fed up of the talking, just trying to please fans when they just don't show it. Matt Jackson reckons that they had players ready to sign and Vitor and Co didn't want to sign them. Where are those players being linked? Because for me, I don't believe a word he's saying. Like you say, we were getting rid of players, fair enough, because I get that, and I'd probably get rid of a few more. But you've got to make the squad at least competitive enough just to help Rob Edwards have a chance of staying next year. Not saying that he'd go if we lose every game, but you need to try and keep that positive, attitude about going down. Look at Leicester and Southampton, mate. They're struggling in there, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because they went down
Yeah.
with a whimper. You need to be able to, have a good fight to the end of the season just to get that energy for pre-season to get going again. But for me, I think that you do need to sign a few players, even if it's like, I think if Kretsch is on loan, we've got space for 2 more, I think. Is that the case?
Yeah. I think you can sign another couple of loans because obviously we haven't got
So surely
anybody
you can
else.
get. Yeah, so surely you can have 2 loan deals at least to come in just a half a season just to help us out. Anybody at centre mid, anybody who can control and pass the ball further than 10 yards or switch a play, Similar to Dial, I know people was questioning his strength and what he had defensively, but that's not what we're lacking at the moment because João and Andre are defensive, but they're still slow at getting out to them number 10s on the edge of the box that are getting 3 shots away because they're sat so deep, missing out on their 50-50s at times, and I've got no one to sat there when they do win it to give it to make the right pass. Like they make that pass. And I feel like I'm knocking them a little bit, and I really don't want to, but there's so many times where they just make that wrong pass that they've won the ball back and they've done loads of hard work, but they make that wrong decision, and then it puts us back another 10 yards again because that extra pass is then going further back. So I think a centre mid is, we need someone in there. Like if it was only Calvin Phillips left available, and we got mentioned with him a few times, haven't we? Would you take him if he was the only player that we look at signing?
Yeah, to be honest, I was going to chuck Calvin Phillips' name in the hat. I think, is he everybody's first choice? Absolutely not. I think when we spoke about him in our group chat, I think all the boys have kind of said, no, not for me. But I think I think he could be a playmaker. I think he's got that natural ability, and he showed that when he was at Leeds to be able to be a playmaker. I think it's literally between him and Harrison Reed. If you want players with Premier League experience, I think they're probably the only 2 options, to be honest. Both of good ages now, where they'll have got enough experience. I think both could kind of step in and do a bit of leadership work and try and dictate games a little bit better. But who knows? I think I wholeheartedly agree with what you're saying, to be honest, because we've almost been sold a dream again. I know obviously Nathan G is meant to be meeting up with some of the fan base and the groups this week. Let's see what comes of that meeting, but at this moment in time, like, there is nothing. There is not a lot of incoming news, and it's like just a bit of rumours. It'd be nice, and not just rumours in like we're interested in someone, just like the concrete rumours where again with what you're saying, like we don't have to go and secure. Well, we do need to go and secure some signings, but like just something to keep the very minimal amount of positivity that we've had over the last few weeks going. Because if you go all the way through January now and make 0 signings, and you've looked like the effort of 0 signings, the protests will just switch back instantly. I'm surprised there's not already some mentions of it, to be honest. I think obviously we have to see what comes back of the meeting with the fan groups. But let's see. Shall we have a very quick transfer roundup? We have a confirmed outgoing today. Fer Lopez has rejoined Celta Vigo on a 6-month loan to the end of the season. Just a reminder to people that we paid £19 million for Fer Lopez in the summer. He's played very minimal minutes, not fancied by either manager. And to be honest, if you were going to ask me if there was one person who could potentially play in centre mid, I don't think Fer Lopez is a horrendous shout, to be honest, because he's got the playmaking ability. I don't think he's fast enough to play on that right wing where we signed him for. It's a bit like Arias. We've adopted this position for him because he doesn't have the Premier League attributes to be able to play on a wing. He's not fast enough. He's not physical enough. He's not aggressive enough. I think Fer Lopez is very similar. And I think he has a sort of frame where if you could build him defensively to be a bit more resolute. I'm not saying to play him as a 6, but I think you could definitely play him as a bit of a playmaker. Ruben Neves wasn't, I hate to keep bringing up the king, but he wasn't fast enough. He wasn't exactly, physically, he didn't have all the physical attributes. Like, he wasn't 6'4" and built like a shit house. He was very minimal in his stature. But look at how he got into players and how aggressive he was. And even when he couldn't beat them to get back and chase back tactical fouls, like his awareness and his defensive capability. I'm obviously not comparing Ruben Neves and Fer Lopez, but what I am saying is, like, just because someone's stature is very small and slender doesn't mean that they can't play that type of position if they're tactically aware and able to play. The second little bit of news is obviously another outgoing today. AS Roma have been linked and put in an official bid for David Moller-Wolf. Wasn't expecting that one. I think that's a little bit of a merry-go-round by the looks of it. I think Tomiskas is going back to Liverpool. Andy Robertson's going to Spurs. Roma need a left-back, if not left-back cover, and David Moller-Wolf is someone that they've gone for. I think the tooted fees being about €8 million, which Wolves have swiftly rejected, as it was obviously far too low. We paid around about €13 million from in the summer. Any thoughts to that one, then?
No, if I can just comment on Fer Lopez first. I agree with everything that you said about, what I think he can bring to the team, because every time he played, he was always deep, weren't he? Like, even if he was out wide, he was always sat deeper to try and receive the ball, and he was very good at it as well. But there must just have been something in him that just didn't fancy. It's got to have something to do in the training or with him around the dressing room, because there's two managers now that hasn't fancied playing him. And Rob Edwards has came in to try and give everyone a bit of a boost, and he still didn't get the minutes that I thought he would. So that's got to be down to him. And if, but why would you let him go back on loan to Celta Vigo, to a team where he didn't necessarily play many matches anyway? They're doing relatively well. He's going to get in that squad. So if he doesn't, and he doesn't perform, what are you going to do with him in the summer? The club talked about loaning him to the Championship to get him ready, and then we ship him back off to La Liga. For me, you either played him, loaned him to the Championship, or you sell him. Even if you sell him for $5 million less, cut your losses, because let's face it, he hasn't cut to the mustard, has he? So I think that's a really, really poor transfer decision. It was obviously him going back to Celta Vigo. He was linked about wearing their shirts, weren't he, around Christmas time. So I just don't think he had it in the locker. And if he don't fancy, I'd have got rid. And I don't want to see him in a Wolves shirt next year. I don't care how good he is, And I'm saying this, that, like I said to you, in pre-season, he might have one game and then I'll become a fanboy again. But at the moment, I don't want to see him play for Wolves again, because obviously don't fancy. And Moller-Wolf, how can you go from, you're playing for AZ Alkmaar, granted it's not probably a very good league, you get an assist, you come to Wolves and you probably are second choice left back, bottom of the league with certs to get down, and then you get a move to Roma. Like, how does that even work? Like, imagine us doing a poor job and then we're getting linked to one of the biggest clubs in the world. Do you know what I mean? Like, for me, I think I just don't understand how he's getting a link to Roma, but I don't think you can cut your losses yet, because you start selling a player for cheap, you'll get them all being bidded 5-10 million less, and then you're going to struggle, aren't you? So if we don't need to sell, I'll just keep our stance and sell him at a price the way we think's reasonable. I don't think he's a left wing back, mate. He bores me to death in that position. I'd probably play him at left back. I think he could do a job. His best game was against Shrewsbury at League Two, so that probably shows you going forward what's in his locker. I'd rather see someone else play there than him anyway, so I wouldn't really be bothered if he did. What about you?
I think he's got all the attributes to be able to play left back and left wing back. I think it's one of those ones where he's came in, the team are on poor form. I do think with David Moller-Wolf, I think if he went to another team and wasn't introduced into a team that have been so poor and lack so much quality, I think you will see the best out of him. I really do. I think I know that was tooted to him a little while ago, but I think if he would have gone this season and gone to Brighton, I think you would have seen a very steady, solid left back, and we would have probably been saying, he was cheap from the Eredivisie. Why did we not look at him? And I think ultimately, maybe even that links to John Arias. Maybe some of these players have come over, and we are so devoid of quality, and maybe that is a reason why we haven't seen the best out of some players. Obviously, some other players like Jackson Tachua don't know how to play football. Whereas you can see these players do have half decent ball game, but they're in a team that just lacks any quality and confidence. And I think again, I do think Brighton would have been like a perfect setup for him because they could have put Kadioglu on the right, put Molowolf on the left, and played in the right system, in the right formation with the right manager. I think he is a player who could do well. We'll
If
quickly
we
move
said
on.
it, mate, I
Sorry.
really doubt that we get a replacement.
No, I think it's all down to obviously Hugo Bueno and David Molowolf, and I think it's nice to have seen some competition, to be honest, in the ranks between the two of them. Granted that neither of them have really set the world alight so far this season, but either one of them could play for Wolves in the Championship for me, and we'll see where that happens. Let's move on to the big one. Obviously, Strand Larsen is the talk of the town at the minute. Everything points towards Crystal Palace for me. Obviously, Leeds were the front runners at the start of the week after placing a what is believed to be £33 million bid with 6 million in instalments. People will say, oh, well, that's close to the £40 million mark. We just got to remember some of the deals that can be like included out of this. Leeds could have said, oh yeah, we'll give you 5 million when we get in Europe. And I mean, they ain't never getting in Europe, are they? Let's be honest. Wolves have to be savvy with this. We obviously rejected 55 or 65 million in the summer from Newcastle. If Wolves want 40, I think they've got every entitlement to demand 40 million for a player who scored 14 Premier League goals last year. Since then, Forest, as you mentioned earlier, have gone in for Jean-Philippe Mateta, which just feels so weird in itself to say. Goes, which has been linked with Villa, Juventus, but I don't think Villa will happen now because they've got Tammy Abraham, but Juventus, Forest, there's multiple amounts of clubs that are going in for Mateta. Hobbs, obviously, like you said, brought into Wolves. That's, to me, nailed on. I think he'd do well at Palace. I think he'd do well, even if he was a bench striker at the start. Like Nketiah's got, legs made of glass. They're going to shatter at any point, so he's going to get game time. Europa League football, he'll bang goals in Europe. He's got a team with players who, although they play this five at the back under Glasner, like imagine Daniel Munoz getting right to the byline in the aggressive nature that he does and getting the balls in the box. He'll thrive at somewhere like Palace. And it pains me to say because I think I've mentioned it before, but I really do see him being like what would have been the Raul Jimenez replacement if we had a good enough core of a squad to be able to supply him. I think Tolu could be a really good striker, but I don't think we'll see the best out of him because unfortunately for Wolves, we have just done everything wrong in the last few transfer windows, and this is where it's left us. Granted, I think if Tolu stays, plays in the Championship, and we kind of change formation and be a bit more aggressive, you could see the best out of him. But obviously, Strand Larsen, I think he's probably going to stay in the Premier League, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Yeah, I think his season last year just makes them suitors just want him, don't they? And I think if he does go to Crystal Palace, he's not a similar player to Mateta. I think Mateta's an actual number 9 that can hold the ball up and is quite physical in the air. But I think that what Larsen, like you said, does give them is if he has a chance, he does hit the target, doesn't he? And they do create quite a few chances. And they've got players who can put really good footballs into the box. So I think that would be a good move for him. I'd take the 30 million because we're going down, mate. So I'd take the 30 million just to try and help get us back up. And I don't know where we go from there, mate, if I'm being totally honest.
Very last one. Then we're going to move on to very quick fire questions. Emmanuel Agbadu looks to be staying unless anything changes in the next few days at Wolves. A few bids were flying around from Besiktas, but it looks like the price variation is just a bit too different between Wolves and Besiktas. So I don't think that's a mirror at the minute. Like, that was really, really heating up, and then it's kind of just fell off a cliff in the last few days. I think Wolves were demanding closer to 20 million euros, and Besiktas were edging towards 15, and they can't seem to find the middle ground with a 5 million difference. So that one looks to be staying where it is.
Do you think that changes if they sell Tammy Abraham?
No, because I think they have to go and get a striker in there, and I don't think the need for a centre back is there. They have got some half decent defenders. I don't think they're in Europe anymore. No, I think they'll be fine. Right, Liam, quick fire questions because I don't want to be here for an hour and a half, and the game will take a little bit of time. Are you ready? First question of the day, Alex Moore. I'll go with. We'll go simultaneously because you give two. First one, what does Jackson Tachua hold over Rob Edwards to be starting week in and week out?
I just think if you're looking at it from Rob Edwards' point of view, like Rodrigo's just come back from injury. Doherty has even said that he don't really want to play there. You got Pedro Lima that we haven't seen much of him at the moment, have we? And he hasn't played many matches this season. It's between Jackson and Hoover, and he didn't fancy Hoover, so I don't know who else you would probably put there. But for me, he's fourth choice right back, like I've said before, and he can't play any longer. I do not want to see a Jackson Tachua that can't even take a throw in. Never mind trap a ball from 5 yards. He's nowhere near Premier League ready. I don't think he'll ever be. Anytime a commentator talks, all they say is how fast he is. And yet, what does that give him? Because he don't tackle, he don't press a man, he don't run in behind. And I would seriously question who scouted him and what the reasons were. I'd love to know. What about you? What do you think?
It just reminds me of someone who needs to be playing in the baller league. He's that bad. He's that bad. He needs to go with the retired ex-pros in the baller league. I try not to be overcritical of our players because they're playing for our club. At the end of the day, I want everybody who plays for Wolves to do well in the shirt, but he's just not got it. What does he hold over him? I don't know. Maybe he's at gunpoint every single match day. But I think we'll slowly start to see Rodrigo Gomez fulfilling that role very quickly.
I'd have Sam Ricketts back any day of the week, mate, to be honest.
Tough, mate. Give me Kevin Foley now. Like anyone. Give me Rob Edwards playing at right back now with
Yeah.
another set of class leagues. I'd rather have him there. Second question from might take you a little second to think about this one, but who is your favourite cult hero that we have had down the Molyneux?
Oh, forever.
Forever.
Mate, hands down. It's got to be the King Ruben. Hands down, mate. Hey.
It's hard,
Absolutely
isn't it?
loved Nevers. When I was growing up, loved Kenny Miller in League One. Like Danny Bath was just an absolute legend, weren't he? And Steam and like, but for me, it's King Ruben any day of the week. What about you?
It's just hard, isn't it? 'Cause the obvious answer is obviously Ruben Neves. The second obvious answer is obviously Stevie Bull. I'm going to be honest. I loved Raul Jimenez. I love Raul Jimenez with every single bit of my body, and it was just like it was heartbreaking to see him when he almost got his head kicked off by David Luiz. And I think when we talk about receptions earlier, when we was talking about Nunes and the boos, I absolutely love that whenever we play Fulham, whether it's home or away, his song is absolutely serenaded by the Bulls fans, and that just shows you the appreciation of a group of fans who all our mantra ever is live and die by the club. Put your body on the line for our club and you will always be a hero. Obviously, Diogo Jota goes into the same sense, and Ruben Neves. I think there's many players in the past. I loved Bakary Sacco back in the day. Like everything he could do with the ball is a great shoot.
Nuadico as well.
Nuadico, loved Nuadico. Christ, Barry Douglas. Loved Barry Douglas, Prime Helder Costa, Ivan Cavallero. I mean, we're talking like
Alex
more
Ray.
recent. Alex Ray, Paul Ince. Like there's absolutely loads. Kevin Muscat. There's loads. God,
I just like with Ruben. I just like that. You know, he could have left us any season, and you could tell that he just loved playing for the club. And now I don't think we're ever going to see that again with that era of that team that we had, like Raul, Jota, Neves, Cody, Connor Cody, mate, what a legend he is. Like, name my dog after him. I was just like, any of them you could have said, couldn't you? But, mate, they just make you just love it, don't they? Them, speechless, mate, talking about him, just speechless.
Just brings a smile back to your face, doesn't it, when you talk about players like that, and it's nice to have it, it's nice to cherish. We've had another question since we come online from Drew Freaking. Is the window where we signed Bellegarde, Ante and Enzo the second best window in the last 5 years? I mean...
I wasn't expecting that one.
Do you know what? I wasn't expecting it. So, in that summer window, Wolves signed Matheus Cunha, Jean-Luc Bellegarde, Santiago Bueno, Boubacar Traoré, Matt Doherty, Enzo Gonzalez and Tommy Doyle.
Take it back now, mate, if you sign Cunha.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the best signings that we're going to make for the next few seasons, isn't it?
Yeah. Look, I think if we talk about that on terms of obviously why Drew hasn't chucked in Matheus Cunha in there from the start, to be honest, but if we talk about that, Matheus Cunha, Bellegarde, he's an okay player. I think someone in the Championship will do very, very well. Santiago Bueno. I think Boubacar Traoré could do a job in the Championship. Bringing Matt Doherty back was a brilliant signing. Obviously, he hasn't had a mass amount of football, but he's someone who at the club is imperative now because we have no leaders. Tommy Doyle. Well, I think we could look. It hasn't worked out so far with Tommy Doyle, but his name always gets brought back to attention, and we're hoping to get him back in the summer as well. So like, you've got to say like
Yeah, we
£5
need him
million
next summer.
for. Yeah, like £5 million for Tommy Doyle. You can't really grumble at, can you? So I think it's a very good question, and it's up there with maybe joint first, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
In the last 5 years, it would be hard because obviously, I think the Neves season.
I thought we signed Cunningham in there.
Yes, so 2023, and then he played
Oh, yeah,
24
I
with
think
us, and then he
that's right.
moved. And
Yeah.
we have another question. I've just got to get it up from Sharky, who says, "How many out of the last 8 Premier League home games do Wolves win? And also, if we were better for the first half of the season, did we stay up?" I presume that's if the results were better, would we have stayed up? He personally thinks we can, when you look back at all those losses, turn them around and stay up. So let me very quickly get the fixtures. So at home, we have Bournemouth. Yeah, 3.
Yeah, 3.
Aston Villa.
3.
Liverpool.
What, is Villa after Bournemouth?
No, I'm going home games. Specifically
Yeah,
said
shit,
home games.
I'll say. Yeah,
Yeah.
3. Who's the next?
Against
Who's after Villa? If they've still got a slot. Oh, no, I can't say it, can I? 3.
Arsenal.
No chance.
So we're currently on 9 points. Tottenham
If they've still got Thomas Frank. 3.
on 12 points so far.
Nah, I think take a draw.
10 points. And Fulham.
That's 13, ain't it?
Sorry, yeah, 13. Then Fulham.
And Fulham.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 points.
So you're going with 16
I know, what
points.
is it?
16 points at home. I'll give a more realistic opinion, I think. Let's go with a 1 point against Bournemouth. That's a draw. 3 points against the Vile because they're shit when they come to the Molineux. So that's 4. 1 point against Liverpool. 5. 0 against Arsenal. So that's 5. 3 against Tottenham because they're gash. So
How are we saying
8.
this though, Dan? How are we even thinking this? I think we're just deluded, mate.
I'm only on 8 so far, don't worry. Sunderland, nil point. Fulham, last home game of the season, we might get a win. So I'm going to go with 11 out of 16. Thanks for the question, Sharky.
That's filming me more positive, mate.
Still 10 o'clock at night, so yeah, obviously, delusion does strike. Thank you, Moores. Thank you to Drew. And thank you to Sharky for the questions. Much appreciated. If you've got some more questions, please get them in the comments, whether it's the comment section of the video or on our socials during the week, and we'll be sure to answer them for you. Liam, should we play a game? So, Liam, game time. This was a game brought by Nat last week, and it was fantastic.
Yeah.
We really enjoyed playing it. So, these are 4-player faces. I don't. I'm playing along with you. Chelsea has very kindly done these again for us. This is 4 different faces.
Yeah. I think I know the top left one.
We have to guess them. We'll set like a little 2-minute timer because we don't want it to go overkill. Yeah. So we can work that out between us. Minutes. 2 minutes. Are you ready to try and guess number 1? Right, let's go. Top left then, mate. Who are you going with?
Mark Clyde.
Mark Clyde. Yeah, well, I'll probably have that. Mate, this is ours. This is very ours.
It's got to be Mark Clyde, that has.
We won't know the answers till the end.
Top right. Is it Mark Edworthy?
Can't lie to you, mate. She has got well back here, so I'm relying on you because I know how good you are with back in the day. I think
it could be Mark Edworthy. I'd say McIndoe, but I think he looks a bit younger than that. Bottom left, could it be Alex Ray?
I think it could be. Bottom
right, could that be Kevin Doyle?
Nah, surely not. Not in that kit.
That's a Chaucer top 8. Oh yeah, nah, it wouldn't be that one, would it?
It's too old for Kevin Doyle.
Nah, not Kevin Doyle.
We've got 50 seconds to try and get him in anyway.
Let me think. Could that even be Keith Andrews? Could he have played in the Chaucer top?
It's not a bad shirt. Do you want to lock them in? I'm happy with all of them because I like it. Looks like Freddie Lundberg in the fucking top left, so I'm well off it. So go with your answers again, then, Liam. We'll
top
go with
left,
that.
Mark Clyde.
Yeah.
Top right, I'm going to go with Mark Edworthy. Bottom left, Alex Ray, but I don't think he had like a stubble, but I'm going to go Alex Ray. And then
I just see the answers. You're going to hate it.
Oh, don't say that. Well, I've got all wrong. I got them all wrong. That's definitely Mark Clyde, eh?
Right. Who's your bottom right?
Keith Andrews.
Right. Top left, Michael Oakes.
Is he?
Michael Oakes.
Mental.
Top right, Darren Baisley. Bottom left, Colin Cameron.
Oh,
Bottom right, Mark Kennedy. Good game though, isn't it?
damn. I thought that was Mark Clyde, man.
Oh,
It
mate,
looked
don't
like
worry.
it looked like the own kit. I didn't think. I thought that was an own kit, man. That
It'll
threw
get better,
me.
mate. It'll get better, don't you worry.
Like,
Let's
mate, I'm
delete that one.
fuming.
Right, you ready for this?
I
Look,
can't play games, man.
Nat did very well with this last week, so we need to try and
Fucking
get him.
wanker.
Okay, are you ready? Yeah.
Yeah.
Round 2. Off we go. Top right, I'm going first, Jody Grant.
Gotta be. Top left, was it Carl Court?
I think that could be goal course. These don't always play in ball stops, as you can tell.
Yeah.
Chelsea's very clever in the way that she puts these.
Bottom right, looks like Wayne Hennessy.
Oh, we'll go with Wayne Hennessy with that dodgy jawline. That definitely looks like Wayne Hennessy. Bottom
bottom
left, is that Dave Edwards? Is that a Wales top?
It could be
It
Dave
also
Edwards,
looks like,
you know.
It almost looks like Keith Andrews as well. But
Nah, mate, we're going to be way off on all of these, aren't we? That's got to be Carl Court at the top left there. Sure.
yeah, it's an older photo, isn't it?
Court, Craddock, Wayne
Court,
Hennessy,
Craddock, Hennessy.
Dave Edwards.
I think it might be dangerous, Dave. I
Gotta
don't
be.
know. Is that like stubble? Nah, not there.
Yeah, it don't look like it to me.
Go on, shall we lock them in?
Yeah, mate, if I don't get one of them right, I'm fuming.
Answers. Top left, Carl Court.
Come on.
Top right, Jody Craddock. Bottom right, Wayne Hennessy. Do you reckon we got all 4?
No. Nah, yeah, of course, that's Dave Edwards all day.
Bottom left, Dangerous Dave.
Oh.
We did all right on that one, man.
Mate,
That
I love Michael Oakes. I'm gutted I didn't get him. Oh, man. Didn't think it was a keeper, man.
Right. 2 minutes has started. Top left is the famous pisshead
last.
Roger Johnson.
Yeah.
Top right is the Serbian superstar Milad Midas. That's got to be.
Yeah.
Bottom left, Chris Iwelumo?
Yes, or Zubar.
It's either or.
It's got to be one of them.
Right. Oh, do you know what? I thought I would struggle with bottom right there, but I think I know who it is. Do you have any idea?
Is that Elder Costa?
I think it's Helder Costa. That lime green kit screams like younger days. And he kind of had those licks when he was always frustrated. He was like, blowing him. Yeah, I'll go down. I forgot. Chris Iwelumo got to be at that bottom left. You want to lock them in?
Yeah.
Dude.
What a face, man.
Flying through these. Are you ready? Top left, Roger Johnson. Top right, Nenad Milias. Bottom right, indeed, Helder Costa. Or for him?
Yeah, it's got to be.
It was Chris Iwelumo. So we're doing too bad. We've got a possible 8 so far.
We've got one more.
We have one more. And do you know what? I think she's trying to get sneaky with one of these. And I've got it. I'm going to see if you get it there. Picture number 4. Are you ready? Go on then, mate. I'll let you answer all 4 because I think I know them.
I think the first one, top left, is that Morgan Gibbs-White? Top right, Benny Kofobi. Bottom left, John Woody. Bottom right.
I definitely know all 4 of them without even looking at the answers.
Bottom right. That's an hard one, man. No clue at all. Who do you think bottom right? Dan, I got a clue.
All right, I'll tell you what then, mate. I'm going to go to the top left and say you really need to change your answer from Morgan Gibbs-White.
Really?
Let's put it this way. He's probably one of the best players to play at our club in recent years.
Is that Eight Neri?
It's Ryan Aidori, 100%.
Yeah.
Top right's definitely Benica Furway. Bottom left is 100% John Ruddy. I definitely think I'll be gutted if I'm wrong. You've got 40 seconds to answer that bottom right.
I'm going to go rogue with Miranda, but I don't know if he signed. I don't think he played that year, but
Change your answer.
Jean Martino.
Change your answer.
No way is that Neves.
It's definitely not Neves.
Mate, I got Scooby-Doo, mate.
He came from a French club, Lyon. Famously a horrendous signing for us.
Oh, Marcel.
Marcel, I'm pretty sure he got it just in time with 3 seconds left. I'm pretty confident I've got all four of them right. Are you ready? Yeah. Top left, Morgan Gibbs White. Obviously, don't know. It's Ray Laura. Top right, Benica Furway. Bottom left, Sir Jonathan Ruddy. Bottom right, Fernando Marcel. I got him straight away on that last one.
Play.
Do you know what? That was really good. I like that. I like that one. Basically, all I've been able to tell people is I know players at anything after like 2010, and you don't know anyone. So it's all good. You're meant to be Yermal's top fan here. I'm disappointed. That first one was hard. Who was it? Michael Oakes, Darren Baisley, Colin Cameron, and Mark Kennedy. I think the bottom corners were incredibly hard, but the kits were there, which was hard. I can't believe you didn't get Michael Oakes, to be honest. I thought you would have got him.
To be fair, mate, I was 7, but I loved Oakes, man. How did I not get that?
Liverpool, mate. Astonishing by you. So a big thank you to you all for watching. Again, we were unlucky in defeat at Man City. I say unlucky. We didn't discredit ourselves too much at Manchester City. We've had quite a fun podcast there, Liam. I think we've obviously gone through the transfer rumours and what's going out, and we could do with some incomings if you could, Nathan. Sure, would be nice. Love the game. The game's so good. Genuinely, I'd love to do that every single week, but Chelsea will kill me if I try and get her to sort out photos every single week. I've enjoyed that podcast, Liam. Thank you very much for coming on, mate.
No, it's a pleasure, mate. Thank you.
So good. It's nice talking about the Wolves. We don't get to do our calls so often in the morning now, do we? So we can rattle them all off on the podcast. Is it Bournemouth this weekend then?
Yeah, it's on.
Bournemouth this weekend. We'll try and regroup if we can, and maybe do a little match preview if you're up for it at some point. Buzzing. We'll try and get Nat in for a match preview as well if we can. Thank you very much for watching. Please, if you can, to all of our viewers, make sure you jump onto our YouTube channel. Please hit like, subscribe and share. There's plenty of people who watch our videos who aren't subscribed. We'd love to be able to get you subscribed. Listen to us on Spotify. Get onto our social channels. We put as much of the transfer news as we can out there. Thank you all for listening. We hope you have a lovely rest of the week. And we hope you have an even better weekend when Liam's first prediction comes true and we beat Bournemouth. Quick score prediction, Liam. Go on, shut one out there. Doesn't have to be an official one. We'll give an official one later in the week.
2-0.
Oh, I'll go on then.
What about you?
Thank you very much for listening. We will see you shortly for a match preview.